Now take a seat. Hello again. Welcome to our model lesson, or we can call it a seminar or a workshop.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't call it a master-class, because master-class it's a lesson when a professional teacher gives a lesson to skillful students, but you don't like students, you are rather my colleagues. So let's kick our lesson off. It's every lesson, professional lesson has three parts. Any lesson actually, any lesson. It's engagement. You have to introduce your students to the topic, grammar topic or speaking topic. It's engagement. It's called engagement. You have to break the ice. I call it just brainstorming. Brainstorming, for example, let's just pretend our topic is modal verbs. One of them is should. First of all, I have to brainstorm my students if they have any ideas about this modal verb, how we use them, because we have a lot of modal verbs: must, can, may, and should. So any ideas? You are my, just pretend, you are my students, I'm a teacher. So what about should? Any ideas? How
You
we
should
use
give us an example.
Yes.
when you want to give an advice to somebody.
Yes, exactly. Thank you. Yes, when we give advice, we don't say an advice because advice in English is uncountable.
Okay.
A piece of advice. So now let's brainstorming. You guys share your personal problems with us, and we will try to give you advice using should. Just pretend I write it on the board. So our thought.
You should speak slowly. Yes.
Okay, you can ask me. Could you slow down?
No, we use the word should. So should you? No.
You should slow down.
You should slow down, please.
Okay. It's my problem. My problem is my fluent English.
Yes.
My fluent English is my problem, so you should slow down. Okay. So our grammar topic is should. Okay, for example, my problem, and you will have to give me a piece of advice. The problem is I have a group of nasty students. They don't listen to me. What should I do?
You should propose them different tasks and in such a way investigate their needs and preferences.
Okay, just first of all I have to...
You should do this.
You should, I should.
Should
yeah.
do.
Should.
You should do.
Just a tip. Just a tip, I should motivate my students. Motivate my students using their needs, what they need, using their motivation. Same. What about Yulia? Can you have a pen? Can you have a pen? Same.
Maybe in the same problem, yes?
Yeah, my problem. Help me with my problem.
You should make their attentive on you. For example, to make a science, make science, and then they will listen to you, and then to interest them.
Thank you. By the way, your English is not that bad that you said it to me.
My English is
No, it's
bad.
not.
I
It's
didn't.
not that bad.
I haven't used it for many years.
I can say just sleeps. It sleeps in your mind. So you have to wake it up. I hope that our seminar will wake your English up. Yeah, by the way, when I listen to my students, I never interrupt them. It's not polite, it's very rude. I just note down your mistakes or just recommendations. For example, we don't say make my students attentive, you can say call for their attention. Call for your attention. Okay.
To make them be attentive, this is call for your attention.
Call for, I should call for my students' attention. Using different methods.
I think you should be more strict during your English lessons, maybe language lessons.
Okay, you mean yelling at my students? Teaching them, punching them?
No, punch them.
Sneezing on them.
Oh no, it's very dangerous, it's unhealthy.
Yes.
Maybe some jokes.
I'm very responsible. Okay.
It was a joke.
By the way, you can tell a joke, and do you know any other verbs that we can use in this context? Tell a joke, synonym. Because my passion is spoken English. In spoken English they say crack a joke. Or you crack.
Make kidding, we can kid, is this synonym?
Okay,
Kid,
but it's very literal. It's very
Literal.
formal English. Informal English, crack a joke or crack my students up, make them laugh. Crack them up. Yeah, but I am a very funny teacher. Okay, and you? Have you got any other advice? Any other advice?
I think you have got full advice.
So no
From
advice.
Maybe if they don't listen to you attentively, you can propose them several tasks, group tasks. I mean, in such a way they will work together and communicate to each other.
So, but how am I supposed to control them?
Maybe listen to and then give some directions. Notes, make some notes.
Okay. Thank you for your advice. Just some, it's not correction because you're my colleague, I'm not going to, no offense. I'm just going to supply you with some synonyms. Synonyms. For example, we can listen attentively or we can listen synonyms.
Listen to
Carefully.
Carefully.
Yeah.
Thank you. Carefully or closely.
Close?
Closely. Yes.
Mhm.
There are synonyms for task. Give tasks or give.
Home assignment.
Yes, assignments. Assignments or exercises. Ask them to do something. And you said give them recommendations or instructions.
Directions.
Yeah,
Direct them.
Sorry, I don't like this word, but no offense. Directions, give directions if it's in the street.
In the street, yeah.
But you don't mean it. You mean guidelines.
Guidelines.
Thank you. So that was brainstorming. So there are some more methods of brainstorming. For example, I will use some of them from my book. For example, listen and answer the questions. Just a moment. Let's start with Denise. Listen and answer. It's all
We
brainstorming.
may use
Module 1.
The sound is
Recording
excellent.
1. 1. What's your full name?
I must ask.
Yes.
My full name is Denis Dubenko.
Yeah. Let's take it in turns. Okay.
2. Where do you come from originally?
I'm from Ukraine. I'm from Kyiv, which is the capital of Ukraine.
There are a lot of guests, that's why this question. For example, what about Julia? Where do you come from originally?
I came from Lutsk.
We use the present simple. Present simple.
I am from Lutsk.
Or come from.
I come from Lutsk. Okay.
Is it a mistake to use past simple? I came from Lutsk, from Zaporozhye.
Well, the context is a little bit different. Context. Can you explain the difference between I come from and I came from?
I came from, maybe when you explain your past habits or past situations, you can use I came from some city or town and now I'm here. I live in Kyiv for certain periods of time.
Your past experience.
Your past experience. And if we are talking about the origin, it's better to use present simple.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah, that's a typical English construction expression. I come from. It's just the same as I am from.
Thank you.
Next.
3. Are you married?
Now I'm single.
Yes, no, that's all. It's all engagement. It's all engagement. Brainstorming or ice breaking. We are trying to break the ice.
4.
Maybe Alexander?
Have you got any children?
No prompting.
No, I have not.
Okay.
Never.
No prompting.
5. Where were you born?
I was born in Kyiv.
Yeah. Alexander, your question.
6. What's your date of birth?
My birth date is October 1st, 1978.
Date?
Date? The question was about dates. I said my date of birth was October 1st, October 5th. Sorry.
October 5th,
Yeah,
yes,
we
saying
don't-
October
October
5th.
5th, Marina,
So,
17th.
what is Alexander's star sign? October the 5th.
October 5th.
Have a guess, guys. Have a guess.
Yeah, yeah, not, you don't know from.
I don't know.
No idea, October the
Who
5th.
is,
Because I
who is
am into
after,
star sign.
who is after Virgin?
Yes.
After
it's,
Virgin.
It's
Libra,
Libra.
goes there.
Libra.
I don't believe in the bullshit that you mean.
Yeah, I do. But we can
Libra.
discuss it later, not today.
Libra?
Maybe when
Libra.
Libra. Who is it? Ah, you see.
Divage.
Ага, Libra.
Di verstehen ja.
Nein,
next.
today is English.
It is video, it's being restated.
Where exactly do you live?
I live in Kiev. Yes.
8. Does all your family live round here?
Yes, I live in Kiev with my family.
Okay, your family. So that was, we will stop here. It was engagement. There are a lot of exercises. You can use your book just to introduce your students to this topic. Next, let's move to, for example, generally it is called study. Any ideas what it might be? Study. What it includes? Study. What you are going to do?
Grammar.
Presentation of new material, etc.
Yeah, typically it's just grammar. I will just show you how I use the exercises to make to improve my students' grammar. For example, just a minute. It is called my favorite method. It's called paraphrasing. Paraphrasing. Just open your books. It's just a moment. Paraphrasing. Pre-intermediate. Those copies. Yes, those copies. Page 23. Page 23. Page 23, exercise 1. This one, I will find it too. Found it? Just let's wait for my computer. Anyway, you can, what grammar can you see in this exercise? Yeah, but the sentences are what tense?
Present simple.
Yeah, they are present simple. So we have to put them into what?
Into past.
Into the past tense. That's the way some young teachers just tend to read the exercises, have their students change the sentences, and that's it. And they forget about it. The way I do it, first we can do it in writing, orally. For example, let's start with Denis. One, just change it.
What should I do?
Change the sentences.
The programs are extremely popular.
Past
Yes.
simple.
I should do this in past simple.
The past one.
The programs were extremely popular.
Right.
Yes.
We will not write.
Next one, Valeria.
Do you watch television? In past simple, did you watch television?
Yeah.
I take my exams. I do my exams.
Right. Maybe Alexander.
My brother stays up late. My brother stayed
Right.
up late.
Good students.
I
Not
didn't.
much.
May I interfere? Just stays up late, right? Stays or stands? I just didn't get it. I'm sorry. Stays.
Stay.
Sorry, no,
Yes.
Regularly.
I don't get home until midnight. I didn't get home till
Right.
midnight.
And Alexander.
This one, I bought presents. I bought presents for everyone in my family.
Thank you. Step number 2. I allow my students to check me orally. For example, now you read any present simple sentence, I listen to you and put it into the class. Do it. I don't
From this exercise where I can create my...
No.
The match begins at 8:30.
The match began at 8:30.
I feel so tired.
I felt so tired.
Renee sings beautifully.
Renet sang beautifully. Alexander?
I feel so tired.
I felt so tired, but it was Valeria's sentence.
Sorry, I take my exams.
No stealing. No skiing.
No creeps.
Repeat it, please.
I take my exams.
I took my exams.
The programs are extremely popular.
The programs were extremely popular, and Alexander. Just read it. Just pretend you are a student.
Yeah, I mean, just looking for my sentence because others. They took it. Okay, watch. Did you watch television?
No, you are supposed to say the present simple.
Oh fuck, I'm sorry. I mean,
It is being videotaped.
do you? So I mean, present simple. So do you watch television?
Yeah, did you watch television? So that
Oh,
was
really?
step number 2. Step number 3, I may have my students work in pairs.
Mhm.
1 minute, for example,
Mhm.
not 1 minute.
What
In pairs.
what
One
is
student
yours?
reads the same sentence.
The
One
same
student
sentence,
reads the present simple, the other changes them into the past.
We are-
Julia Alexander.
In these sentences, in this
Yes,
exercise,
these.
can we make the affirmative sentences into negative or in the question?
No, it's the different exercise.
Uh-huh.
There are a lot of different exercises. This exercise is only positive
What we
sentences.
Oh,
should do.
1 minute.
The
But
same.
you
It's
also
the
do
same
pairs.
but in pairs. The same but in pairs.
Existence.
So it's possible, basically.
Do you watch television?
Did you watch television?
I don't get home until midnight.
No.
I didn't
have-
get home
I have
until
a two
midnight.
question.
I did not.
I didn't.
I don't know how to say it in English correctly,
Okay.
but we
And I,
told all these
my
phrases
my
twice.
chair.
You asked us,
First
we told,
read.
and
Я
then
знаю, по полю знаю, по
yes,
And now
and the
what-
same situation we should do in
No.
first.
Нічого не буде.
Yes, the same
Колега.
sentences.
Як?
Колега.
Колега.
You are elementary students. You know what it's
I
the
feel
past
so
simple. You
tired.
have to, even my intermediate and upper
I felt-
intermediate
I
students,
felt-
and
I
just
felt-
forget about
felt.
it. It's a problem. Past simple.
This kind of
You felt shy.
Yeah,
Yes,
you and me all
it's a
together.
very simple
The match
one.
begins
Simple.
at 8.
That's the
8:30.
point. That's the
The
point.
match began.
That makes
Begun.
sense. That makes
I think-
sense.
Begun.
So, you're right.
No, if you want,
I'm supportive vice president.
I felt so sad.
Irregular verbs.
And Renee sings beautifully.
Let's sang beautifully.
That's
Thank you.
It's done.
Thank you. It was actually
Paraphrasing.
study, paraphrase. So that's the way you can practice, you can use any of these exercises. And for example, I have a lot of methods. One of the methods, next, for example, speaking.
Oh yeah.
Speaking includes many methods, one of them I will try to choose. For example, discussion. Discussion. Open your books, it's intermediate, page 9.
intermediate.
Intermediate,
Yeah.
the biggest one.
Yeah,
Yeah, model 1.
Nine?
No?
on page 9.
You got it. You got it, right?
Check.
You got it, question. How it is spend our time. Public
Let's have
account,
two.
that's a real.
9 or 8, Vladimir?
Page 9.
9.
And the set is just upside down.
Exercise 6. Exercise 6.
Боже, your
My
turn.
turn.
Your turn.
Yes. Take it. You can use, there is some classroom English that you need. For example, take it in terms to do something. Or work in closed pairs. Now you're going to work in closed pairs. Then you are going to work in open pairs.
I like this closeness, you know.
Now, for example, Julia, read this instruction, exercise 6.
Are you happy?
Yes, yes.
Are you happy with the way you use your time? What would you like to spend more or less time doing? Discuss in groups.
So now take 1 minute and discuss it in pairs. In pairs. Yes, the same one, the same question, but in pairs.
One spending your time.
Unfortunately, I can nap.
How do you spend your free time? And are you happy
What would
with
you
it?
like to spend more
I spent my free time.
Do you need 25 hours per day instead of
I like
24?
I like playing on guitar.
I like to play.
I like to play on guitar and I like singing. So and free time I like walking walking with my girlfriend.
Okay, and what would you like to spend more or less time doing?
What does it mean?
Більше, менше.
with my
More with my
friends.
girlfriend.
Free
You
time for
don't
family.
have enough time.
Yes.
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 With your work and hobbies.
And work.
And work.
Work and work.
Satisfied.
And you?
It's a pity.
Are you happy
Teacher interrupts us.
with the
Sorry.
way that? Are you happy to use your free time?
So, any
No,
questions?
I'm
So,
not
are
happy
there
enough
any
because
limits
I
in this
don't
exercise
have
or
enough
limits?
friends
It's up to
in
you,
here.
it's up to you.
So from the very beginning, when
and,
you give this
For example, when
task,
I
you
came
have to
home,
limit the students
then I
for
spend my time
approximately 2
and I'm
minutes
happy
to
with
discuss.
With your friends.
Yes,
Yes,
but
time
here
limit. Yes, time limit. You have
I
to set
only
a time
have
limit.
work
I always set my
and
time.
maybe
I say
some
2 minutes,
hobbies
3
like
minutes, 5 minutes.
How do you revise mistakes?
I don't
When
know,
there are, for
walking
example, 3
and,
pairs, how do you revise mistakes?
Okay, now tell me about.
Дослідчення.
Tell the class about.
Valeria?
New
Valeria
interesting
wants
things
to
in
go on
Kyiv.
road. She wants to visit
That's all.
Portugal because
That's
she
all.
has the best,
So I
her
will
best friend
work
in
to be
Portugal, and she
happy.
wants to visit her.
Thank you, Julia. Tell us about Alexander.
Alexander is happy with the way he used his time, but he would like to spend more time with his girlfriend because there's his work take much time for almost free time.
Alright, and you can say his girlfriend is mad at him.
Yes.
Maybe cross.
So now mistakes. Just one. Okay, thank you for your English. It's very nice. Your English seemed very nice. I like it, except for he use. Can you help me? He use.
Uses?
He uses. Yes, that's the way. Did I answer your question?
Yes.
No,
I decided that it will be good that you will show you how you revise these mistakes, right? For teachers, it will be good. Yeah.
A little one thing. Probably I just share some experience from my university years. Our instructors, they normally, we have this group discussion, actually, couple discussion, you call it. Peer discussion. Sorry? Peer, yeah. So they would normally just come closer to a particular pair just to listen how they say, maybe take notes about this blunders, which are strongest state blunders and minor states. And then we just all together revise. So she said this, and normally how could we correct this, what this and that, blah, blah, blah. So not just tell me what she told you,
That's what I do.
Just listen sometimes
I just
and
didn't
take
finish.
notes.
Yes, I didn't finish. That's what I do. Sometimes I just walk around the class. It's method number 2. I walk around the class and listen and help my students.
Sort of jump
It's
in
method
front
2.
of me, just thinking about this.
So don't jump the gun. Understand this? Don't jump the gun. Okay, thank you. Next. Again, it's all about practicing. So it was speaking, and now text. It's a huge problem, especially for young teachers. Open your books. I will show you how I work with the text, because usually what do young teachers do if it's a text?
Read it just like
Yes, reading is awful, terrible. I hate it. I hate especially translation. Especially I never translate. I will try to show you how I work with the text. I just tell my students that you are not translators. I teach you to speak English, speak and understand. And I don't want you to, for example, if you when you speak English, Russian, and English and Russian. I tell my students that it's ideas and English. You go from ideas into just a moment. Ideas, Russian, English. It's a usual routine practice. Yes, three steps. I tell my students it's not translators. Interpreters for translators it's okay, but if we help our students just to speak English. It's ideas and English. No Russian or Ukrainian.
Translate ideas directly into language.
Thank you. You are very supportive. Open your books. Pre-intermediate. Page 35. 35. Sound. Page 35. Can you see that picture, that living room, yes?
Yes.
So, yeah, there is a short text. I will just use this short text. First, let's read this text and open the brackets. It's the topic is present and present simple, present continuous. By the way, I didn't show you how I explained new grammar. It's very important. Again, no Russian or Ukrainian.